Chào lớp, hôm nay chúng ta sẽ học về lễ của nước Việt Nam. Hello class, it's Mr. No again. Today we are going to be looking at traditional celebrations and times that are celebrated in the country of Vietnam or nước Việt Nam. So I hope you join me again. As always, we're going to take a very quick look at what we did last time. If you were unable to see the last video, as always, I hope you have access to it so you can go back and take a look at it. Okay, so let's go ahead and join me on the next screen and we're going to get started. So the last time I was with all of you, we were talking about sports. Thể thao của nước Việt Nam. Thể thao của nước Việt Nam. Sports of Vietnam. We covered not every single sport, but many that were very, very, for the most part, popular. One that we covered is Da Cao, which is this one, which is a very, very popular traditional sport from nước Việt Nam. It's played all over Asia, but in Vietnam, it's very popular. You use your foot, chung đá cầu. So you basically use your foot to kick the shuttlecock over the net, and this is often played both recreationally or competitively. Okay. Another one that we also took a look at is cycling. Đạp xe. This is often very popular in nước Việt Nam because it is something that is, as we covered last time, not only a sport, but almost like a way of life. Many people in Vietnam, many citizens, children, all the way to adults, have bicycles. It's a great form of transportation. And the cool thing is, đạp xe is the sport, the activity. And if you want to know what a bicycle is called, you take those two words and you flip them. Xe, everyone say, xe đạp. Xe đạp means bicycle or vehicle that is moved with the power of your feet. Next one is like đá cầu, but it's cầu lông, which is badminton. Very much just like đá cầu. Instead, you're using a racket to hit the shuttlecock over the net. And once again, in nước Việt Nam, many people play this as a form of exercise, thể thao, or to simply play competitively. And it's a very fun sport, very widely played across the country. Okay, this one is volleyball, bóng chuyền. Bóng chuyền. Bóng chuyền. Bóng means to hold or cradle. Chuyền means to pass to another person. So this is a very popular sport played by men and women, and also many Vietnamese people. Nước Việt Nam competes at the highest level in the Olympics and the Pan Asian Games, and have been represented before. And then last but not least is bóng đá or đá banh, which is soccer. Bóng đá, probably the most popular sport in all of nước Việt Nam. It is played by all age levels for both competitive, recreation, and exercise. So that's kind of what we covered last time. And as always, you can go back if you haven't had a chance to see and not only learn about the sports, but hopefully practice the words as well. Okay, so let's kind of jump forward here, and we are going to go into looking at different celebrations today from the country of Vietnam or nước Việt Nam. Now, what you're going to find out today is there are many celebrations that occur not only in nước Việt Nam, the country, nation of Vietnam, but across Á Đông. Á Đông means the Asian continent. Okay, but these are many of the popular ones. These will not be all of them, though. We can't cover all of them, but we're going to cover a lot of the popular ones and some of their origins. Okay, so we have some pictures here. So this is from, we're going to find out very soon. This is what the streets look like. Bangla, from the flowers and decorations from New Year's. And we're going to find out about that. This is another celebration in the traditional region of original capital of Vietnam. Okay, Independence Day, the actual New Year's on January 1st. Okay, so those are some pictures, and now we're going to get into the actual holidays. The first one, everyone with me, say Tết. Tết. Tết is the biggest holiday in Vietnam. It is the Lunar New Year. Now, the reason why I say Lunar New Year is in New Vietnam, in excuse me, Vietnam, they use the lunar calendar. It's not the exact same days mapped out in the 12-month calendar that we use here in the United States of America, but the days do kind of overlap. But it's called the Lunar New Year, based upon the cycles of the moon. Okay, so that is widely regarded the largest holiday in Vietnam. It usually takes place over a span of 2 weeks, unlike our New Year's, which is one day. Okay, we'll get to that in a bit too. Now, in America, we always wish each other Happy New Year when the new year is upon us. In Vietnam, you're going to say this. 4 words. Chúc mừng năm mới. So I'll say again. Chúc mừng năm mới. Now the direct translation of that is chúc means almost like little. Mừng is like to celebrate or to pass on well wishes, right? Chúc mừng năm mới is like to pass on some well wishes to you for the new year. Năm mới is new year. Now, you're probably wondering, when is this going to take place? And this is actually going to take place Saturday, February 10th of 2024. Okay, now you'll notice that it's very closely after our New Year's. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. Let me show you some pictures. During that, the celebrations like that, there would always be traditional dragon dances, and they line streets with parades. There's lots of flowers. Flowers is bang, and so many flowers and lanterns that are adorn the houses and the streets. During the parades, you have people dressed in traditional attire and will perform. And as you can tell, all over the country, nước Việt Nam, the celebration lễ 2 tuần lận, meaning 2 weeks. Tuần is week, 2 is, as you should know, 2. 2 tuần, 2 weeks of celebrating. And this last picture I want to show you is Vietnamese dancers, người Việt Nam nhảy đầm con lòng. Okay, this is dancing a dragon dance. But the reason why I'm showing you this picture is because the Lunar New Year is celebrated in nước Việt Nam in Vietnam, but also celebrated kind of all over the world in certain spots. This picture is actually taken from here in San Diego. When that comes around, the Lunar New Year, even pockets and places in San Diego, Los Angeles, Orange County, Santa Ana will indeed have big, very large festivals. The only difference is it's only usually about 2 days. In Vietnam, right, or in the nước Việt Nam, right, back in Vietnam, they celebrate for almost 2 weeks. Now, with the celebration, there are definitely certain traditions. For Tết, there are very traditional activities and celebrations. As you saw in the cities, pho nhiều phố có đồ ăn lì xì. Okay? What that means is in many cities, there are activities, but one major activity across all the cities and a tradition is something called lì xì. Now, some of you might have seen this before. It is called bao lì xì. Bao means pouch. Lì xì means, best way to kind of almost put it is allowance. Now, during the Lunar New Year or Tet, the elders or people who are adults, so this could be your grandparents, this could be your parents, aunts and uncles, even older brothers and sisters, even older cousins, would give you what's called a bao lì xì. Now, it's a pouch, a red pouch, adorned with golden lettering. It's beautiful. And you're probably wondering what comes inside the pouch. And it's usually lì xì, which is allowance, money. And you're supposed to take the money and hold on to it for the whole year to gain some prosperity for the year, which is wonderful. There it is. So these are some lì xì, bao lì xì that have been designed. They have some, and I know some of you are probably looking at this and goes, well, that looks like Chinese characters. And that is true because part of it is with the new year, it's celebrated across more than one Asian country. It's celebrated across hết người Á Đông, meaning all the people who live in Asia. Many of them celebrate the Lunar New Year. Right there it says what we learned before. Chúc mừng năm mới. Happy New Year. Wishing you a little bit of prosperity for the new year. And then a very traditional food item is during that is something which is a sticky rice cake. It's savory, salty, but it's a crowd favorite. And it's called bánh. Remember, we learned bánh before. Bánh means to make bread or like a cake product. Bánh chung. Bánh chung. This is a very traditional New Year's food item. Growing up as a kid, I loved having bánh chung. It's something that you can get year round now, but it's very, very popular during the new year. Okay, let's move on. So another holiday is Lei. Remember, we're going to learn that word in a bit. Lei, Hua Kui. Okay, and Lei means celebration or party or festival. So this is the Hui Lei, Huang Hui, is the Hui festival. This takes place in, the reason why this is kind of important is, it takes place in Hui, the original capital of Vietnam. Okay, Hui is a city, or you can also say a region. Okay, during this festival, there are people that dress, performances, and art, exhibits, music that is very traditional to the country. This takes place on March 31st, and this will be in 2024. So you'll notice that this festival comes very close to Tet, which is Tet is in the very beginning of February, and this happens at the end of March. Very similar to how we will have many widely celebrated days like Thanksgiving come toward the for many people who celebrate some of the other winter holidays at the end of the year in America. So here's some pictures. This gentleman is wearing a traditional outfit from Vietnam. Here is a giant musical performance with a giant stage. And I want you to take a look at these three women here. They're wearing, it's a little grainy, but you can see they're wearing a traditional outfit from Vietnam called áo dài. Everyone say áo dài. Áo dài. Áo dài means áo, the direct translation means shirt. Dài means long. So kind of like a long shirt. But you'll notice that it's very beautiful and it's actually a flowing dress. So it's called the áo dài. These are the very traditional Vietnamese attire. Many men and women wear it. The men have a different version. It's a little bit shorter, but it's called the ao yai. And then you can see here once again a stage adorned with all the performers and the performance. So this is the Independence Day for Vietnam, and it's Ngày Quốc Khánh. Okay, Ngày Quốc Khánh. Ngày is day. Okay, Quốc Khánh is Independence Day. So this is celebrated every year on September 2nd. Ngày Quốc Khánh. So the Vietnamese, nước Việt Nam, their Independence Day is celebrated on September 2nd. Okay? Vietnam broke away from France and gained their independence, just like we have July 4th, which is our independence in the United States of America. Very similar. Flags are flown all over the city, right, in towns. Parades and fireworks are presented during the day and the night. And as you can see here, once again, very much like Tut, the days are, the people are performing, and the city and the whole nation celebrates the Independence Day. All right. In Vietnam as well, they have something called Ngày, which day? Ngày Lao Động. Ngày Lao Động. Ngày Lao Động. Ngày Lao Động is Labor Day. Okay, this actually takes place in Vietnam, actually on May 1st. And work is closed down across most of Vietnam for 2 to 4 days. So people get to celebrate their version of Labor Day in Vietnam for almost 4 days. But something that doesn't close down during Labor Day or Ngày Lao Động for them is Vietnam is a very heavy tourist country in Asia. So because of that, many of the very popular tourist locations, hotels, festive areas that people come to visit in Vietnam stay open. So tourism stays primarily open during their Labor Day. That's the best way to describe it. Okay? Ngày Lao Động. And once again, they have parades. People celebrate in the streets. There's food, and people have time off. Time off, which we're going to learn what that means. Ngày Quốc tế năm mới. Okay? Ngày, remember day. Quốc tế năm mới. Now, the reason why this is important is you'll say International New Year's Day. Ngày Quốc tế năm mới means January 1st. Despite the fact that in Vietnam there is Tết, which is the New Year, Năm mới, which takes place at the end of January. Most people, most Vietnamese people still will celebrate the calendar New Year, and we obviously know this takes place on January 1st. Many of the people in Vietnam across the country celebrate and say farewell to the previous year, which is kind of really fun because they get to kind of celebrate for one day. The country still stays running. There really isn't anything shut down. But then approximately a month later, everyone will celebrate that, the Lunar New Year, and they have their full-blown festivities. Now, I guess you could say that, or the January 1st version, right, is to bring in the new year, and they still do have fireworks, and the whole city is lit up, and everyone has a very large party. Okay, so they still they have a party, which we're going to learn how to say in just a moment. Now, before I move on, I want to stress the fact that most of this are some of the more popular holidays. It doesn't mean we covered all of them. Okay. There are other holidays that are small and large and celebrated in different regions of the country. But let's learn how to say some of these things so that once again you can practice and hopefully one day um, present your skills to someone who is Vietnamese. Okay, so some holidays and some phrases that we can learn involving days and holidays. So holidays is ngày. So ngày. Ngày is day and lei means celebration, right? Celebration. Holiday. Ngày lei. So you might be saying to somebody, or somebody says to you, ngày lei, you know that they are talking about holidays. Ooh, this one's a good one. Day off. So somebody might ask you if you have a day off. That is ngày nghỉ. Ngày nghỉ, right? I know sometimes listening to that, you're like, how do I say that? I like to tell students or people who've never done practice Vietnamese, the N and the G, it's almost like the same sound you hear at the end of the word sing or wing, right? Ng, ngày nghỉ, ngày nghỉ, day off. Take a day off. All right, New Year's. New Year's is năm mới. Now, I know some of you are probably also looking at this and going, Mr. No, Thầy Nam, this looks like the number 5. And you would be correct. Those little accent marks change the way the word is pronounced. So this is now năm, which is year, and mới, which is new. So they kind of flip those words around. Năm mới is New Year's. Năm mới. Okay, I put Christmas on here because as I didn't talk about it, but in Asia there are many individuals or Vietnamese people, người Việt Nam, that celebrate Christmas as well toward the end of the year. Once again, all over the world, there's widely spread different holidays that are celebrated by many cultures and different countries. The end of the year, the winter holiday, and primarily Christmas, is celebrated heavily in Vietnam as well. And in Vietnam, the easiest way of saying it is Lễ Noel. Lễ Noel means Christmas. So if you celebrate Christmas, you say Lễ Noel. And then finally, we have the last 2 words, which is pretty good. Party and or feast, right? Party and or feast. So you can say party is thick. You might have a birthday party. It's a thick birthday thick, right? Lễ is once again holiday or like feast and or celebration. I know some of you are probably wondering, wow, what one small word has so many interchangeable parts. It's very similar though to how we might say in English, a festive party, celebration. It kind of falls underneath the same word. Okay. With that being said, I want to say once again, thank you for joining me on this fun journey. I hope you learned a little bit more about Vietnam and our culture, our heritage, celebrations. And I hope you also took time to learn some of the words, and hopefully you can go back and practice some of the words. Until next time, I hope you take care of yourselves, and we'll see all of you very soon. Bye for now.